In the European Union, there is a network of envoys who fight anti-Semitism and try to foster Jewish life in Europe. Most of the envoys are not political level representatives. They are administrators and professionals. And the discussions that they are having among each other is very different from the political discussions. We all understand the trends. We all have very good ideas and projects what to do to counter this trend. But you need political ownership and political commitment behind these objectives. And the most important challenge in Europe is that this political commitment and political ownership behind the fight against anti-Semitism is fading away. The political will is diminishing. And I believe this is the number one challenge. And I make it clear every time I speak about this that this is a political issue. This is not a professional issue. This is not an issue for theoretical discussions. We need political action, and for this you need political determination.
It's interesting because everything involved in the discussion with Israel is political in some nature, and it filters down to the anti-Semitism issue. And yet, you say, and it's a great point, that very few countries like Hungary look at this as a political issue. I mean, why is that? Is it just inconvenient for other countries to do so?
I think that the fabric of European societies is profoundly changing. And I believe that when there is no political answer to the challenge of anti-Semitism, this is in itself a political answer, but not necessarily the answer that we are looking for. The composition of the societies due to the profound demographic changes in Western Europe has completely changed the political landscape of the countries. And now I believe that the political price that some leaders have to pay in Western Europe for standing up against anti-Semitism is a price that they no longer want to pay. And some of them are actually catering for the political needs of those who are flirting with anti-Semitism. So political anti-Semitism is back in Western Europe, and the determination on behalf of leaders in Western European countries to draw a red line, saying that, okay, the political anti-Semitism is not acceptable, we are not tolerating this, and we don't cooperate with anyone who uses political anti-Semitism as a way to get votes. This determination is fading away, and this is the most serious challenge that we face.
We're seeing some countries kind of jump out of the EU framework in terms of sanctions and boycotts of Israel. Spain, Ireland advanced a bill yesterday to boycott products made in Judea and Samaria and Eastern Jerusalem. Is there such a disparity within the EU right now that the only solution for countries is to kind of go their own way? Can a consensus be reached within the EU on how to deal with Israel?
Well, it would be preferable if we had a consensus, because the European Union strength based on some kind of a political consensus or agreement between member states, especially when it comes to common foreign and security policy. But I don't think that things are going that way. I believe that some member states don't understand that the contemporary anti-Semitism is now using the vocabulary of anti-Zionism and anti-Israel hatred, which is a very thin veil on anti-Semitism, but actually the political message, the content is anti-Semitism itself. And I'm afraid that some member states don't understand that without a constructive and strategic partnership with the State of Israel, you cannot have a credible policy against anti-Semitism. It doesn't work that way. You cannot say that I fully support European Jewish communities and at the same time use vocabulary that puts the State of Israel's right of existence into question. This doesn't work that way. And some of my colleagues don't understand that. So I think that there is not a lot of common ground with member states who are playing on these political themes. And I believe that if this is the case, then a member state simply has to do what is right. And I believe that you cannot have a constructive and strategic partnership with the State of Israel if you speak the language of isolation, if you speak the language of sanctions, if you are trying to downgrade the relationship by suspending the association agreement or locking out Israeli enterprises or research institutions from the Horizon program, for example. It simply doesn't work that way. So in this case, we always do what is right, what serves the purposes of a constructive and strategic partnership with the State of Israel. And if we are on our own, so be it. It's okay, we are used to that.
I guess it's somewhat theoretical at this point, but do you get any sense now that a ceasefire has been achieved and much of Europe is getting behind the Trump plan to move forward with Gaza, that there will be some lessening of anti-Semitic actions throughout Europe, that this kind of fire will calm down a bit?
Well, this is a very complicated question, and I think it has two sides. First of all, I think that the Trump peace plan on Gaza is the best thing that has happened to the Middle East for a long time, and I think that it creates an opportunity, a window of opportunity to open a new chapter, and I think it should be supported fully and unconditionally. At the same time, what I see in the European Union, that even though this plan has contributed to shelving some of the most extreme measures, for example, sanctions on cabinet members or the suspension of the association agreement, but the political product that has been developed in Western Europe by the radical Islamists and also by the far left together, this political product will not be simply abandoned. I believe that these political stakeholders put so many effort and resources into developing this political product, mostly for domestic political considerations, then they won't just let it go. And it has very little to do what the State of Israel is doing or is not doing and how the situation evolves in the Middle East. I think this political product that has been developed in Western Europe signals a profound shift in the societies and in the political life. And even though now the intensity, that is the intensity where we see this political product being marketed in Europe, has diminished due to this Gaza peace plan, but it will return, and we already see signs of that.
Minister